weekend. I mean, no, it's not the weekend, but on my spring break still. I'm going to make apricot pastries. So this is the first part. Second part, I will show you making the actual pastry. This is the pastry dough. You need 5 simple ingredients. You need water, vegetable shortening, butter, flour, and salt. Okay, here are the ingredients. So first of all, you need all-purpose flour. I use Crisco. You can use vegetable shortening any kind. Butter or margarine. Water. I use a Brita filter. It stays cold and it's filtered. And salt. I get coarse kosher salt because it tastes really good. And I mix it up in a bag with a rolling pin, and it turns into this nice salt. So you can use this as a stand. I have a KitchenAid mixer. You can use whatever you want. So first, you get 2 1/2 cups of flour, and you put it in a bowl. It's a lot of flour. So then you get 1 1/4 tablespoon of salt. Teaspoon of salt. You can just hand mix that. I washed my hands before this, so you can just. I like to hand mix it. Make sure it's all mixed in. The salt is all mixed in with the flour. You gotta make sure. Then you put it in your mixer. You can use 2 forks, or like a hand mixer, or a stand mixer, whatever you have on hand. I feel stupid. Make sure your mixer attachment is in your mixer. Now you can mix. So you start mixing it, and then you add 3/4 cup of shortening and 6 tablespoons of butter, all in one. Add that in room temperature. Might need to get it off the sides a little bit. Make sure not. And then you have 1/2 cup of water, but what I like to do is I like to pour a little bit of this in just to make the dough a little bit wet, and then just refill it with a little bit of water. Your dough should start forming. This is the way if you want to do it all in your mixer and you don't want to get your hands dirty till the end. The dough will look a lot wet, like really wet, way too wet. I added too much water. I did. So that's when you take out your flour. You need to add an extra little bit of salt because you added too much ingredients. This is where you just get crafty. Get some salt in there. Flour. And I just want to show you this. This is too wet dough. This is just too wet. It does get really wet. This is just an example of 1 second. Too wet. Get that back in as you can. There There it is. Add some flour until it looks like good dough. You can work with this dough. Okay, that looks really good. So let's get this going. You need a big cutting board or a small cutting board, whatever you have on hand. This is just a really simple, quick, easy recipe if you're just bored. You know, kids can do this easily if their parents let them do the oven. So you get your dough, and then you get some flour. You'll need flour. Get flour on the thing, cutting board. You're off to the working area. Make sure your hands are all floured up. You get your dough. You can see it's very sticky. You will get your hands very dirty. You can wash your hands. Make sure you get all your dough off your thing. So get your dough. Should be nice and wet. That's what she said. Oh, so funny. So at first you get a lot of flour. Soak it, make it really dry. Not dry, but nice and workable. This is a really big dough recipe. I don't think it would be this big, but work with it. Don't know how to knead. You get a flat piece of dough, fold it in half, knead it down, and fold it in half the other way. Okay. Nice dough. So now, one second, I'm going to wash my hands. So, your hands all clean. Now I'm going to do part 2. See ya in a minute when I get all my slides ready.